Yeah, and it's not but the thing.
It's
Papers.
it's so like a lot of writing or it's so exciting.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, graduates, families, friends, colleagues, students, and staff. I'm Brian Anderson, Interim Dean for the Wyant College of Optical Sciences, and it is a great pleasure to welcome all of you here this afternoon to celebrate the successes and accomplishments of 4 graduate students here in person, plus others online and their families online. Today marks the culmination of years of hard work. So please join me in starting us off by giving these outstanding, hardworking new professionals a round of applause. The achievements of such remarkable students often go hand in hand with the support of family, friends, and mentors. Graduates, I will ask you to please stand, turn, and give a round of applause to recognize the family, friends, and supporters here for everything they have enabled in your lives and your fellow graduates for being partners in your experiences. Thank you. Our optics community is a tight-knit family. With over 3,800 optics degrees granted by our college since our founding as the Optical Sciences Center in 1964. We are thrilled to take this afternoon to honor you 4, plus others online, as you become a part of this incredible group. In contrast to our large spring convocation ceremonies held elsewhere on campus, our traditional winter ceremony is much smaller and more intimate, as you can tell. And we never have a problem fitting into this room. At our winter convocation, there is no rush to get through a long program, no sea of gowns or getting lost in a crowd, and no straining to see what is going on. Instead, the power of this ceremony lies in a moment that is both personal and precise, which makes it a wonderful illustration of the beauty of optics, also both personal and precise. Optics involves a huge range of scales. How we think about light, how we describe light mathematically and use it, depends upon the scales involved and the ways in which we choose to look at it. At the largest scales of size, optics allows us to look outward, to build telescopes that capture light that has traveled billions of years to reach Earth, carrying information from the earliest moments of the universe. With carefully shaped mirrors and exquisitely aligned systems, and with photonic devices engineered to incredible precision and sensitivity, we turn the faintest bits of light into understanding of galaxies, cosmic structure, and the unimaginable vastness of our universe. With such scales, we take remarkable strides towards reaching an ever better understanding of one of humankind's greatest curiosities, our place in the universe. At the smallest scales, optics lets us look inward, towards viruses, nanostructures, individual atoms, and quantum states of light, the domain of photons. We sculpt light to probe, control, and communicate at scales so small that intuition fails. The room to tolerate noise or errors evaporates, and precision becomes everything. In terms of numbers, the largest single mirrors made by humankind are about 8 meters in diameter. The wavelength of visible light is about 10 million times smaller than that. The size of an atom is about another 10,000 times smaller still. Between these extremes that are a factor of about 100 billion apart, or vastly more when we consider the scale of the universe, between the cosmic and the quantum, lies the human scale. In this range, ideas become instruments, theories become practical systems, and light becomes a premier tool for us to see, manipulate, work with, and understand our world. Optics becomes personal. That is the scale that has become the expertise of the graduates we honor today, who have developed an understanding of how to connect this human scale to all scales smaller and larger. Each of you graduating students has worked across boundaries of size, complexity, and imagination. Some of that has been theoretical, academic, and in the classroom, and some of you have worked in laboratories to utilize light to understand your world. You have designed systems that rethink how images are captured, displayed, and communicated, systems that must be computationally sophisticated, context-aware, and responsive to the real world. That work lives at the intersection of optics, computation, and human perception, reminding us that light is never just physics. It is also information and a record of experience. You have worked to understand the fundamental level of optical science, where light becomes quantum, where communication must be hidden within noise, and where even the act of transmitting information demands subtlety and care. This is optics at its most delicate and profound, showing us that what cannot be seen can still be rigorously engineered. You have pushed optics into intimate spaces, rethinking displays or imaging inside the body, using different wavelengths or colors of light to make systems that are both powerful and unobtrusive. In this space, optics is not only a way of seeing, but a way of extending human capability. You have pursued breadth in the classroom, building fluency across optical physics, optical engineering, imaging, and photonic devices, with exploration of both theory and experiment. That breadth matters. Optics advances not only through specialization, but through people who can see connections across subfields, who can speak multiple technical languages, perhaps even becoming fluent speaking about both the inner workings of airplane engines and the ways in which light splits into different colors. Optics advances by people who understand how foundational principles echo and manifest across scales and how it relates to everything else in our world. What unites all of you to each other and to all others in our field of study is not a specific topic or technique, but a way of thinking. You have learned that progress in optics depends on respecting every scale simultaneously and understanding that a system optimized at one level can fail at another. Elegance at the nanoscale must still serve clarity at the human scale. The joining together of 8-meter diameter mirrors into one even larger telescope mirror that looks deep into the universe must also be built with incredible precision in order to serve us at the human scale. In all areas of optics, the smallest adjustment by even a fraction of a wavelength can determine whether a system works at all. That theme of precision and care extends well beyond optics and beyond this room. As you leave our college and university, you will enter worlds that often emphasize size. Big institutions, big data, big budgets, big impact. Let today, in this intimate ceremony, be a reminder that meaning and contribution to science and advancement do not scale that way. Discovery and understanding happen one insight at a time. As has been the case with your graduate studies, careers are shaped not by crowds, but by mentors, collaborators, students, and moments of persistence and precision. Optics is indeed both personal and precise. Your families, friends, mentors, and supporters have watched your journeys up close through late nights, troublesome alignments, frustrating homework assignments, experiments that worked only once, as well as all of the addictive successes when everything clicks into place. They know that your achievements here are not abstract, but personal and earned. As you move forward, whether into academia, industry, national labs, or entirely new directions, I hope you carry with you this optics perspective into other areas of your lives, an appreciation for scale, precision, and impact, a respect for both the vast and the subtle, and the confidence to know that even small contributions can change how the world sees, and even be the deciding factor in what the world sees. You have made light a partner in your careers and lives. Congratulations to each of you. Today, the focus is sharp, the signal is clear, and the light is entirely yours. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to recognize the faculty in attendance. Since we have just a few faculty, I'll ask each faculty member to stand, introduce yourself, and very briefly state your area of research. If you have been an advisor for one or more of our graduates, Please let everyone know that too. Let's start.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Florian Wilhelmitzer. I'm an associate professor here at the College of Optical Sciences. I was Parker's advisor for his last 1.5 years during his PhD thesis, and I work on computational imaging and optical 3D metrology. Very nice to meet all of you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today. I'm David Brady. I advised Greg Nero together with another professor, Jiro Takashima, and Shantai Ju, who's also graduating today, but is already off working. Along with Thorian, I also work in computational imaging system design. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm John Koschel. I do non-imaging optics, but really I just do red tape now in this day and age. So I'm the associate dean for academics, and I have no graduates here, but I do have a couple graduating, but they didn't make the trade. Thanks for coming.
But I'd like now to welcome to the front Professor John Koschel. As you just heard, he's our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and he will direct the next portion of this program, starting with the MS and then PhD degrees, I believe.
Thank you, Brian. So we're going to be recognizing the students first who got a certificate. None of them were able to make it here. A certificate is, they take about 5 courses to gain some additional knowledge in the field of optics. So we have 3 who are being recognized. Let's hear a round of applause for all of them because they might be watching online. Thank you. We will then move over to the masters. We have one master student, Christian Steinbeißer. Would you please come on up? And you can see what he indicated. I would like to ask Christian, just tell us what area did you study for your master's degree?
Yes, thank you. I wasn't in a specific track, but I mostly focused on photonics and quantum science, quantum information science, and the like.
Thank you. Congratulations, Christian. And in much smaller print, we have the master students who could not make it to this. And you can see there are a number of master students that received their degree in this semester, or it will probably be early into next semester. So congratulations to all of them. Now we are moving on to our PhD students. Our first one, Evan Anderson. Oh, there he is, sitting in the second row. And Evan, covert quantum communication over, I can't see it, bosonic channels and covert quantum computing under Bulat Bash. Could you just tell us a little about what you did?
Yeah, so it's mostly quantum information theory, at least the communication portion, where effectively trying to communicate such that the person or an adversary in the middle can't even detect that you're transmitting the message, let alone be able to grab that message and read its contents. Then on the covert quantum computing portion, this is sort of a new theory we came up with, and it involves the idea of how can you run computations on a quantum computer such that no one can tell that you're actually running this.
Congratulations, Evan. Hangyu Liu, or we knew him as Parker, and he did rethinking near to eye displays and holographic fiber endoscopy through wavelength multiplexing, as we heard under Florian Willemutzer. Parker, tell us a little about your work.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so as a super long title has suggested, I worked on this holographic approach for wavelength multiplexing for two different applications. The first application is on AR display for augmented reality glasses, where we use wavelength multiplexing to double the field of view of traditional physics limited channel. For fiber endoscopy, we use a very similar technique. We can able to resolve objects is hidden behind tissues through a multi-pore fiber. So potential application includes using a brain endoscope that's minimally invasive and can detect early brain tumors.
Awesome. Congratulations.
What's this one? This one.
In Germany, we didn't have.
And Gregory Nero, who did multi-domain imaging display and communication systems under Yuzuru Takashima and Dr. Brady. Come on. Could you tell us a little about what you did?
Sure, yeah, so as the title suggests, I worked on a wide range of optical systems while I was here. I had the pleasure of working with Dr. David Brady and Dr. Yuzuru Takashima, who can't be here, on computational imaging systems, mostly for remote sensing, for surpassing the resolution limit, especially in turbulent atmospheres, and for wavefront sensing using some multi-aperture approaches. For display, so on the display side, I worked on augmented reality display, new technologies to improve the field of view and efficiency of these displays, and a lot of laser beam steering using these digital micromirror devices with these like little tiny mirror things that steer laser beams. And then finally, in free space optical communication systems, I worked on this challenge of trying to send information across large distances with laser beams. And so wrapping it all together is just how to think about engineering challenges more broadly as optical data channels and not just as a display or an imager. It's all sort of related. So I worked on.
And there are additional PhD students who couldn't be here, but they have successfully defended or will in the very near future be successfully defending. So let's hear a round of applause for them too. And that actually wraps up the ceremony of conferring the honors on our students. And now we'll hear again from Brian Anderson for closing remarks in a very short ceremony in the fall.
Thank you, John. Graduates, you have all benefited from many kinds of support and from an incredible worldwide infrastructure to get where you are today. Now it's your turn to become the leaders in your fields. Everyone in this room can't wait to see how you will use your skills to do amazing things and to improve our world for your families, peers, and generations to come. Remember that we at the Wyant College of Optical Sciences will want to brag about you and your accomplishments to come, so please stay connected. Just as you have risen to the achievements we celebrate today, We know that you are up to the challenge and will take us all to a better future. And then finally, we now have a chance to relax, mingle, meet, and say hello to each other with refreshments in the lobby. I thank you all for coming. Thank you, graduates, for what you have brought to the college through your achievements. Thank the faculty for your teaching, mentoring, and presence this afternoon. And thanks once again to all of you supporting family and friends. Let's have one more congratulatory round of applause, please, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening in celebration.